Hi everyone, Sue Matsuki with another Sue's Muse. Today I'm focusing on getting a couple of these done and posted for all of you. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about preparing up a lyric sheet, which then can save you tons of time when you then go to prepare your song list for reviewers. So let's start with a lyric sheet. These are the lyrics of a song that I just did in my show Reservations for Two, called Mountain Greenery. I'm sure many of you know it. Hart Rogers. So when I write out the lyrics for my songs, and I write them out for every single song that I sing, I put in my punctuation in terms of how I like to phrase a song. I put in little cheat notes for myself. So Mountain Greenery is the name of the song, and the red stand at piano slash handheld is my cue on blocking. I have the lyricist, I have the composer, I have where the song is from and what year it was performed. I have the key that I sing it in. I have the running time, which is 2 minutes and 25 seconds, and I have the tempo at 195. Now, where the tempo comes in, and it's not mandatory for all songs, it's more songs that have a specific change from a verse feel to then go into tempo. It's a signal to the rhythm section that you're working with on where that should be. So if we're doing on the 1st of May, da 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 da, and then we get to in a mountain greenery where that should be 195. I don't know if I just covered it off at 195 or not, but that's what that means. And that's really advantageous for when you work out of town with a band that you don't know and that doesn't know your repertoire. So this was a duet, so I wrote out my part and Gregory's part, and the highlighted "Just You Wait" is because I always forgot to come in on that line, so that was just my visual cue to not forget to sing that. I reminded myself in bold that I have 2 bars of bass intro before we go to that 195 tempo change, and the 1 line and 2 lines that you see where it says both when we're singing the bass of the song, the 1 line means that Gregory and I were coming in a beat later, and the 2 lines for me are my signal that we're back phrasing a little bit. And when you're doing a duet show and you're singing with someone, it's not just singing with someone. You have to know how they phrase, you have to know when you're both coming in, otherwise it becomes a traffic jam. So, in a mountain greenery where God paints the scenery, just 2 crazy people together. Now, this is a little longer. While you love your lover. So those are what those cues are for me on my lyric sheet. There's no science to this. You can make any markups that make sense to you. There's other little tricks you can do, like for example, day and away rhyme, and trust, wanderlust, and dust rhyme. So sometimes I underline those words so that I know as we're going along, it's kind of a mental brain trick of what's going to rhyme. So it keeps me on track with what the actual lyrics are. I talk about this in another Sue's Views, which you can go take a look at on how to remember lyrics, memorization hacks for learning new music. So that's all this information up here then saves you tons of time when you then go to do your song list, which I'll show you now. Now, this song list is from a show that I just did down in Mexico. And when you create a song list for a reviewer, you have to make it as easy as possible for that reviewer to do their job. So the more information you get them, the more likely they are to write a review about you, depending on whether or not they liked your show. But give them this information and they won't make mistakes. And also, you'll look like a professional. So everything about who, what, where, when, and why is up on top under the musical director. If I had a bass or a drummer, I would have their names there. And then it's the name of the song. Here I usually bold the name of the song. And then because the show is called The Gals Who Make Me Sing, I also let the reviewers know which gal it was I was paying tribute to, so Ella Fitzgerald. And then because this was a medley, I had to define who did both songs. So It's Love was Comden and Green with Bernstein on the music from Wonderful Town, and Love Walked In was the Gershwins from the Goodwin Follies. I then sometimes do this on a reviewer sheet because I put notes and I give them 2 lines so that they can make notes about each song as they're going along. But I only do that if the whole song list is only going to be 2 sided copy, 1 page, 2-sided copies. I personally don't like to have a song list that is 2 or 3 pages stapled together. I think reviewers want to just walk out with a piece of paper folded up in their notebook and go home. So I recommend that this is the cleanest way to do this. You don't really have to do this, but I've gotten comments from reviewers about, well, that was really nice. That's very cool. So again, all the information on who wrote it, what it's from, what year it's from. And in my case, I also added the gal that I was tributing so that they understood when they were reviewing who it was. This show was also separated into jazz, pop, blues, and country. So I also made it easy for them and letting them know that we're moving on to the next section. What I talked about earlier in terms of your lyric sheet, all this information here is on that lyric sheet. So when I'm going to do my song list and I've already studied those lyrics and I just pull the lyric sheet and all I have to do is create it from there. I can even cut and paste from the lyric sheet onto this form for the song list. And you don't have to go back and forth and research and, Google what year was, Love Walked In written, blah, blah, blah. It's all there. So the more prep you do for yourself, the easier it will be for you down the road, time-wise and otherwise. And the more likely you're going to get reviewers to come in and actually be impressed with your professionalism and then take that list and go and give you a great review. All right. Any questions? Let me know. You know where to reach me, sumatsuki@aol.com. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day, everyone.